guys, probably by seeing the title on this video, you're like, what's going on? So yes, I am thinking about homeschooling Sasha. I'll explain to you in just a minute. And if you're new to our channel, my daughter Sasha actually has special needs that include cerebral palsy. She goes to a mainstream school. It's nothing special. She's mixed in with regular kids. There is another child who does have a physical handicap like my daughter. She does have an IEP plan in school that allows her to get PT and OT and speech and have a one-on-one para. And it's been a battle. She entered the school almost since she was 3 years old, and since then it's been, I feel the older she gets, the bigger the battles get, and the more I've had to be there for team meetings, for new things that have come up, things that make you scratch your head and say, are we really even talking about this? So I'm going to explain some of my reasons why I think it might be a good move for Sasha. So this year has kind of really tested me to put my thinking in the perspective that maybe public schooling, as much as Sasha is getting out of it, I will say that as I keep fighting for the resources for her to have in school and around her, and even the summer program coming up, have been pretty good. But I just feel like the older she gets, the less they know how to deal with her, and she's having anxiety. And it's really been a huge thought on my mind. That's been the lack of videos this week, because we've had so many school meetings, so many phone calls, so many things that have happened yet again. The school decided to, yet again, the PT and the nurse and another person try to call my daughter's office, where her specialist is, that her performed her surgery a couple months ago, and actually try to get information. And they're smart enough that they call me and confirm first and say, you know, school wants to share this information and they want to know about this, and are you okay with sharing it? And I said, I signed that release that they're not allowed to, and they go, that's what we have in the file, but we're kind of finding it, you know, a bit odd. So they tried to go behind my back and get Sasha's medical information, even though I didn't sign a release form for them to do that. It's also in a public school type setting. There has been so many forms I've had to sign for her in the last year. Even they're giving me this crazy one in the last week that she's been wearing AFO braces since she entered the public school system at about 3. But they now want a note signed from the doctor for the school nurse to basically verify that she could go and wear her AFOs, which I found was crazy because I've never had to document. So yet again, I had to call the doctor. I had to get documentation that she was allowed to wear it. They had to fax that over. I had to copy it and bring it to school. They just started to dig deep into the process of looking online, talking to other people through the state, actually consulting an attorney just to see what kind of things are out there for resources, that if I do go and pull Sasha out of school, you know, she's losing all of her PT and her OT and all the services that I fought so hard to get her. Insurance basically, unless she had a surgical procedure or something like that, does not cover home services such as that. So it'd be me providing all that to Sasha. Also, another huge factor that I'm really trying to figure out if it's worth it or not, but I would really like to try and experiment to homeschool and see if it'd work better out for her, just with her anxiety and with everything else, is I looked up online to see if Connecticut, which we live in, was one of those states that once you pull your child out, even if they have an IEP and they're documented with all their needs and what they need in a public school, they actually don't carry home services to the child, even if they do have as many special needs as Sasha does. They will not provide those at home one bit. Basically, once we walk out of the school system with that pile of extras that we have at school, I have to do it all at home by myself, or provide and pay for the services at home. I have a really flexible schedule. I am very lucky in that direction, so I'm not worried about being able to fit it all the time. I don't have that type of 9-to-5 job. I basically work for myself. So, you know, Sasha wanted to start the school day and we didn't head out to work till 11 to 4 kind of thing, and she came with me. it's actually an okay thing. And I've been thinking in my head about, you know, there's tons of things to do around here for field trips, so I could incorporate that social aspect to her as well. So basically, if I did want to also homeschool Sasha, all I have to do is basically give them 30 days notice and sign a piece of paper. They do not check in. They do not do mandated testing for her. Basically, when I looked up online to see if Sasha would get any services provided in her IEP that were in the public school that she has now, Connecticut was sadly on top of the list of basically once you're done with being in a school, they help you with nothing. Which is rather sad because that's my only basically negative thing that I've thought about homeschooling, that we fought so hard for those services, and she really does get phenomenal services at school, but I'm just having so many issues with school, and it seems like I said the older she gets, the worse it's getting, and then it increases anxiety for her, and just the look even when she goes into school sometimes is like, oh, like I want to go put her back in our house and let her be there for the. And sadly, my last thing that I'm like kind of on the line about doing, I mean, I just really think homeschooling might work for her in a great way to have a more relaxed schedule at home. You know, we can do our own thing. I have a sensory room set up for her. I've done the OT. I know what the PT does, but also socialization is a huge factor in Sasha's life. She didn't talk for like her first 3 years of life and did sign language. She's such great friends with the kids at school that it would break my heart to rip her away from them. But at the same point in time, it's like, do I have to weigh socialization out with anxiety and what she's going through with other people in school that aren't supposed to be doing things, and then she sees me unfortunately upset and have to come pick her up. So those are just some of the factors that I'm weighing in to homeschool Sasha, who has special needs. If you have homeschool with special needs, tell me your great stories, because that's what I want to hear, is the positive ones, because it has been truly an overwhelming process to think about it. And some of my friends are like, you're kind of crazy to try to take that on as well as a single parent. But I just have to do at this point in time what is right for Sasha. And as she gets older, her anxiety is just getting worse, and we've tried medications that haven't worked. So I am trying to find a happy balance, and that is where life has put us. And Sasha's needs have been overwhelming me, like I said, for the lack of videos in the past week. It's been every time I'm at work, I'm trying to get something done, I get a phone call and something happens. So it has been a complete tornado lately, but hopefully we're gonna get this resolved. So tell me your stories, because I want to hear positive factors. And did you find a homeschooling group in your area? Because we don't have really any of that either. So I'm just trying to figure it all out. So leave your comments below and tell me your experiences, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye. I'd like to love you, love you.